Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is very exciting because one of my very first videos when I started doing YouTube hit 1 million views. I am so excited to share with you that video. Stay tuned. My video that gained 1 million views, I keep thinking it's 100,000, but it's 1 million views, was this brassy orange hair video. Which Wella toner should I use and why, right? That video did really well unexpectedly because I had just started doing YouTube and I wasn't really sure what I was doing. So I just winged it, did the video, and people really liked it. Now, in terms of how much money I made, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Cha-ching! Money! I made, drum roll please, $0. So I used somebody else's music, and because of that, I did not make any money off of it. All the money that I could have possibly made from that video went to that song. And y'all know I use Major Lazer song, I like your waist in particular. Hey, you in particular. Hey, I like your waist in particular. Hey, you in particular. Yeah, in particular. Yeah, girl. Didn't make any money off of that. So, moving forward, now that I know what I know, and I've been doing YouTube for almost 2 years, I already know not to use anybody else's music. And if you do want to use music, you actually have to find or look for or search for royalty-free music that nobody owns, so that you can use it. So you can monetize off the video if you feel like it, or you want to monetize off the video. So people think that a lot of creators out here are making a lot of money, but if they are not big creators and they are not making these brand deals, they are not really making any money off the videos. And so yeah, so people who came over here to find out how much money I made, and you're not really interested in color, you probably don't want to stay anymore. So I'm just gonna wait. Crickets, y'all gonna leave? Okay, y'all stay. Okay. If you stay, then let's stay. Let's talk about color, right? Now, when I did the video, of course I was new to YouTube. Wasn't really sure about what lighting was, and so one of the first mistakes I made in that video was that I held the swatches really close to the camera. People could not see the way the lights were bouncing off of the swatches. People cannot see. I also had the swatches laying down on aluminum foil, and so because of that, people could not really see. And so what I'm gonna do today to kind of like my little comeback from this video is to kind of show you the swatches all over again. And this time around, I'm gonna do it in sunlight and also in a white background so you can see it. So I'll just wait and do that towards the end of the video. I'm not going to do the whole setup. The whole setup is the same. I just the same things. And so I'm just going to go off a few points, some of the questions that people asked me, and how I answered them, and what I thought overall about the Wella toners. Now, mind you, I'm a licensed professional. I don't use Wella toners. I go to Sally's all the time to get other things, and then I ended up saying, oh, you know, people always come to Sally's and ask about these toners, and I would see them all the time on YouTube. And so that's kind of what I wanted to try out on the regular. Even after the video, I don't really use Wella toners. I use the Reckon line most of the time at my salon suite, or I use Schwarzkopf. And so this Wella toner is like every once in a while I might have it and I might dibble and double into it. So people had little comments about that. I was trying it out for myself and also for you guys, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about the little comments and thoughts that people had about this video. Okay, so now let's go into the comments and the question that people asked. The first thing that people commented about was the measurements. I think in the video I had said I used 5 ounces of the toner to 10 ounces of the developer, which is wrong. I corrected it in the description box, but people didn't read that. Later on, when I realized that I had made that mistake, I used 0.5 ounce of the toner to about 1 ounce of the developer. Now, the mixing ratio of this toner to developer is 1:2. So 1 part of the toner to 2 parts of the developer. Now, Wella, every time you're using a toner or any color that you're not familiar with, make sure you read the manufacturer's instructions. I always stress on that. They made it, they know how to use it, and that's why they tell you how to use it. So just don't come up with your own mixing stuff. And because I was trying this thing out for the first time, I wanted to make sure I followed the manufacturer's instructions, and that's why I used it per the manufacturer's instructions, and I used 1 part to 2 parts, right? And so if you use 2 ounces, you'll be using 4 ounces of developer in that manner. So you have to follow the instructions. Now, another thing that people asked a lot about was, you know, the manufacturer suggested or said to use 20 volume. Now, most toners, most companies in the color world, they have toners, and the developers that come with it are usually between 6 to 9 volume. It's not that high, or even like the most 10. So 20 volume is a little bit high for, you know, to just be using as a toner, but that's kind of what Wella says. That's what Wella Color Charm came up with it, and so that's why I use the developer as 20 volume as told by the manufacturer. Now, some people said, you know, is it better to use 10 and stuff like that? I believe that 20 is a little bit strong, and that especially when you do highlights in somebody's hair, and then their natural color is a little bit lighter and might end up being lifted at the roots. Maybe 20 is a little bit too high, but then sometimes you just have to use it as is to see what it can do before you decide to come up with your own instructions and ways to go about things. And so I suggest, depending on what your hair looks like and how light your hair is, because I would use 20 if I was trying to get a little bit more lift most of the time from the color. Maybe you bleach the hair but it didn't get as light, and you kind of want to get a little bit more lift or a little bit more push in the toner section, in the toning section, maybe I'll use 20. Also, people asked about using it on dry hair versus wet hair or damp hair. I did it on dry swatches because it says to do it on dry hair. I think so. I think it says to put it on dry hair. Oh, apply to towel dried hair. See, towel dried hair. I didn't wet my swatches. I just wanted to just put it straight on it. That's what so I didn't follow the instructions. Put it on dry hair, which means to put it on damp hair that has been kind of like washed. If you had bleached your hair, you wash your hair, you condition, wash it with shampoo, and then you put the toner on there. So you kind of like dry it out, still damp, and then you put this on there. So it says to put it on towel dry hair, which means damp hair, which I didn't follow the instructions. But it seems to me like this toner to developer is a little bit kind of strong. Even smells, the smell is really strong. So I would suggest that when you do it, you probably have it on damp hair, so it just doesn't dry the hair out. So for that, I kind of wanted to clarify that, because a lot of people ask me about the volume of developer to use. I would use between 10 to 15, and depending on what my situation is, I will bump to 20. And that's because I've tried it out. Some people have never tried it out, so just don't start coming up with your own stuff when you haven't really tried it out with 20. Follow the manufacturer's instructions. One of the things I did this time around is that I bleached my swatch to like a more level 6, which is red orange, and then I did like the orange stage, which is like level 7, 8, and then I did like the 6, 13 here, which is like more level 9, 10. So you can see kind of like more on the darker orange side, the more orange side, and then the more yellow side. Now, a lot of people ask me questions about which toner should I use. Since I did all these swatches, people just assume that I should know what toner they can put on their hair. I can't tell you that. I don't know that. I don't know your hair. You are not in front of me. You might be sending me a picture on Instagram. You might be sending me an email. I still don't know your hair. I cannot tell you what toner to use. I did this for all of us, so you can sort of possibly see the swatches and kind of make an informed decision. I'm not necessarily sure how much orange is in your hair, how much red is in your hair, or how much yellow is in your hair. Did you even bleach your hair light enough? And one of the things that when people ask me, that I'm just kind of like, well, you cannot get an ashy blonde hair with T18, which is the most popular toner that people use here. And so they assumed, even before I made this video, that every situation you should use T18. No, but I also broke that barrier by showing you the different swatches and what they would do, how some of the T27, T35 would work on more on hair that's a little bit more orange in that state. And even that, the hair has to be in the nice light orange side, and you see that in the swatches when I show them that even the T27 and T35 looks better on the hair that's more in the more level 7, 8 swatch, which is much in the orange state. So sometimes if you don't lift your hair light enough, you will not get what you want. I feel like I've said this so many times in all the other videos that I've done in the past, which might be reckoned like the Shades of Q toners or any other toners that I've actually talked about or discussed here on YouTube. If your hair is not light enough, these toners will not work. They are not meant for hair that's dark or hair that's like still brassy, super brassy. Ideally, you'll be putting on hair that's a much lighter, like closer to the 613 type hair. You will get the results that you're looking for. You will not be ashy blonde. Again,
you will not be ashy blonde if your hair is super orange and you're out here trying to be ashy blonde. Stop playing with me. Stop it.
And if you don't know what you're doing, is it worth the trouble of messing up your hair and then, you know, maybe coming back and asking me, what toner should I use? I'm in Australia. I can't be very specific. I can't tell you. I can just give you suggestions and you can just look at my video, but you will never be able to, like, I can't be point blank and tell you specifically what you need. So even worst case scenario, all these things that we do here on YouTube looks cool to you, you can show your stylist the video so that maybe they can get an idea, but don't sit at home and destroy your hair and over bleach your hair and over dry your hair out. So I hope that this video is helpful for you to be able to get a more informed or a more insightful what I was thinking when I was doing this, and kind of what I've learned from it in the process, and kind of like I've used some of these things that I've learned from the Wella toners to kind of like learn other lines too. That's a professional. It's always great to learn. You can't just be stuck in your own little world, and that's kind of what I'm doing, trying to explore, learn some things and teach you too. At the same time, I suggest that if you don't know what you're doing, go to a professional. If you guys kind of want to learn with me, just let me know. Comment down here below. Let me know what you think about this video, and also like my follow-up swatches in a more clearer light. Let's just chat. Let's chat about hair. I'm interested. You interested? So let's stay in touch with each other.
Baby, you know I'm right with you. My baby, I don't cover that, I die for you. I pray to the Lord. I rise to the Lord, gonna greet the Lord. I pray to the Lord, Fatumata Jembele. Everything being safe again, everything for your Jembele, oh Jembele, oh yeah. You are not a friend of me, no. Baby, you mean more to me, more to me. You are not a friend of me, no. Baby, you mean more to me.